Welcome back to our Coach's Corner, talking Ponca City High School basketball. Coach Muralt joins us. Her Lady Cats are a game under 500 at 5-6 as with the halfway point of the high school basketball season. The Lady Cats won 1 out of 3 at the ADA tournament this past weekend, but it was a good win for your team. You saw quite a variety of basketball teams, didn't we, this past weekend?
Oh, we really did, especially with that last one. The physicality of it and the quickness. It was completely different than what we saw our first game, which was more of a slower tempo, very disciplined team. And, it's hard to go from those style of ball play back to back.
Well, here's what's interesting is that basketball is still a game of skill. You can be big and fast and quick and athletic, but if you can't play, you're going to have trouble winning. I think that's what we saw as we played two teams this weekend early in the tournament, Shawnee and Guthrie,
Yes.
who had not a lot of great players, but they had good players that knew how to play the game, and we lost. Then we played a team on Saturday that was Northwest Classen that probably had, Coach, 5 or 6 girls that were bigger, faster, stronger than anybody we'd played in the tournament.
Yes.
But we won that ball game because they didn't have the skill level necessary to beat teams. And I'm not saying we're the most skilled, but Ponca City, we play good basketball. We know how to play basketball, and I think that showed up in that win on Saturday.
It really did. I think it showed the discipline difference between the two. We contained our fouls when we didn't need them.
Mm-hmm.
We played the correct defense. We held the ball when we needed to. And then they just, they didn't know how to stay disciplined in the end. And fortunately, that allowed us to take the lead and win.
A lot of grabbing, a lot of holding, a lot of pushing. The good thing is that, I don't think you'll see anybody quite like that again this year. But as I've kind of said, and Guthrie's another one of those teams that has beat us twice now. If you do see them, you're going to be ready for that type of a team if you have to see them again.
We will, and we'll be, better prepared. And it's hard to have a team beat you 3 times, and that's what's nice for us. And we've had 2 games to learn. And now, the next time we see them, the girls are going to really be ready to, have some revenge on them.
Absolutely, and we'll see them in our home court later on this season. I talked with Coach Hibbler, and it's been a month since we've been home. I know that, in particular, I'm sure that your players are ready to play before the fans at the Allen Robson Fieldhouse, which they will twice this week.
They are, and it's difficult when you go into a break and you don't have, anything at home, and then you come back and you've got 4 games that are away, within the first week. And so it's going to be a nice change for the girls. There's no more bus rides, having to leave early. It's just, we're home, and it's where we want to be.
Well, you think about last week, you went to Guthrie, got off the bus, played a game, came back to Ponca, almost immediately get on a bus, go away for 3 days, and then have a long bus ride home. Were they able to get any rest this weekend, or will you practice today hard? How will you approach with a game on Tuesday?
We're going to definitely run, kind of stretch out their legs. You've got to get the soreness out because it was such a difficult week on them. And we're just going to get ready for our game plan for Tuesday against Putnam City. So, we'll do a little stretching and some running, get their muscles loose, and then we'll go over the game plan.
I'm not sure how many players you thought you would play at the first of the season off your bench, but you just about played everybody that you had this past weekend. You've gone to the bench a lot, so I think at some point playing 9, 10, 11 players is going to help your team, where a lot of teams don't have any bench strength. I think you're pretty confident going down the bench a few players.
We are, and what we're trying to accomplish is, the girls going 100% when they're in the game. Not worrying about being able to play all 4 quarters. We're trying to, tell them you play as hard as you can and we'll get somebody in, give you a rest. They've got fresh legs. They can, and I just think it's important that we have some depth because of injuries and things like that. We can't just stick with 6 people and that 6th person get hurt and then we have, nothing to go to.
And along those same lines, you've rotated players in your starting lineup. Like I always said, it's not who starts but who finishes.
Absolutely.
But you have been working on trying to find a different combination or combinations. So, different players have started, and I guess that's healthy for team competition. But you really haven't settled in on a starting five.
No, and the matchups are completely different. Sometimes we need 2 posts, and sometimes we need 3 ball handlers or 4 ball handlers, and so or sometimes we need size, and we just can't have 2 smaller girls out on the court. So really, it's just we're trying to look at what the best matchup is, what's going to give the girls the best advantage, and that's really what we're doing. Would it be nice to have a 5 that work for every team? Absolutely, but it's just not really feasible right now.
Right. Tell me about our 2 opponents this week, starting with Putnam City on Tuesday.
Top 20 team. They actually beat Choctaw, which is the number 2 team, whenever we were at Hera, which was a surprise. So they are definitely a good ball club. OKC Storm, last I heard at our festival, that they were number 1 in the nation, and they had gone to Las Vegas for the homeschool tournament.
So they didn't send a team up here.
They sent their second team.
Yeah.
It was their JV that came.
So we're going to see 2 real good ball clubs in our field house then.
We are.
Well, no doubt about it. This past week has showed us good competition, so I can promise you one thing: they're not going to be a whole lot better than the 4 teams that you just saw as far as play and physicalness. Your girls, I don't know whether we'll win or not, but they'll be ready for it.
They are, and I've told the girls, if you want to be the best, you need to play the best. And so that's the mindset we're trying to get them with. Is, you want to play those better teams, and it's okay if you lose, but at least you know what they look like.
And the Putnam City game would be big because that's a 6A school where other coaches can take the score and compare to maybe how you do. And I say that because the Storm may not be quite that way as far as comparing, but coaches will see the Ponca Putnam game and say, okay, now we can get an idea of how to rank them.
Especially with them defeating the number 2 seed. So if we were able to, defeat them, that would be really big for our program.
Well, that's quite a task, them beating Choctaw, because we saw that Choctaw team, and it was a really, really good team. So
yes.
Anyway, good luck to you this week. We'll
Thank
see you
you
at the field house, and we'll see you there as well. Lady Cats play at 6:30 Tuesday and 6:30 on Friday on our home basketball court. That's this week's Coach's Corner. For Coach Muralt, I'm Phil Turnia.